Hello.
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Grimshire of House of Secrets Comics in Burbank.
My name's Eric Warfield. I work here at House of Secrets also.
For many, many years.
Many years. 25 years in the business, so.
Perfect.
We sell comics.
Yeah,
What we do.
we've been doing it a long time.
I think we just mentioned right, ideas or images.
Yeah, anything like that like when you use media to promote some kind of political agenda.
Or a singular idea.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Whether that's, I don't know, feed the hungry or
Absolutely.
bomb Latveria, right? You can,
Yeah.
whatever that is, you use media in order to convince somebody of something, right?
Perfect,
Usually
yeah.
partially. It's usually
I agree.
not stereotypical. It's usually an exaggeration, right? There's a little bit of that behind
Okay,
it.
you want to extrapolate on it, you could say advertising.
Yeah,
That kind of thing, right? Just
It's the
form
coldest
of it.
tasting beer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so
We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I think a little from column A and a little from column B. I mean, Wonder Woman was created. The gentleman, is it? I was
Peters, H.G. Peters.
No, it's the Wonder Woman creator. It's Morrison, William H. Morrison, whatever
Oh.
it was. He was actually taken. He was asked to create a new superhero because of the popularity of Superman. So, and they wanted a superhero that was different. So I think in a weird way, not in a weird way. I think yes, I think it was Wonder Woman was created to be an example of feminism. I think a lot of people think of feminism as a negative term. It's empowerment of women. If you look at the character, she's very, very strong. I agree on that part. The sexism part, I don't know if it was anti-sexism. I think that came later on when they used Wonder Woman in examples, the Linda Carters and the busty kind of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I think she was definitely created for an example of feminism. But
Sure.
sexism, I'm not 100% on board on.
Not at first.
Anti-sexism, I'm not 100% on board on.
Yeah. Not in bicycle shorts. There's no way they can pull that off.
Yeah.
The little skirt, though.
Well, especially with that.
They still have the little
I mean,
skirt.
but you-
Well, you can also say in the JSA, she started out. She was the secretary of the JSA. She didn't go out and fight. They didn't let her punch people. Right.
No,
At
she
first, they
was
were
a-
like,
yeah.
take notes of our meeting.
Yeah, the Justice
While the
Society
boys
of
are all-
America was the first team that she was a member of, right?
Yeah.
But they called her an honorary member. You got to understand, this is back in the 40s. I'm sure you guys know
Yeah.
this. But she was also like, it was kind of like, hey, welcome to the team. But while you're here, would you mind being the secretary?
Take some coffee and take some vacation.
Yeah. In one hand,
Yeah.
you're saying we're empowering this character.
Yeah.
And I actually did a little bit of research on this, and I discovered that from some of the articles I read, that Wonder Woman was actually going to be a male character. There was a very sensitive character that wasn't the rough and tumble, like punch in the face, the characters like you see, like the Captain Americas with Shield and the fight and that kind of stuff. They were going to make a sensitive male character, and it was one of his college friends that said, you know what, you should make that character female.
okay.
So I don't know. I mean, coming from a female's perspective, so yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of torn.
I think you get a couple things with the Wonder Woman. You get some propaganda purely by her outfit, because there's other girls that were
Well, the imagery,
like
exactly.
like our Buckskin Belle, right, in Lone Ranger, girl. That's an empowerment. It's a girl cowboy who goes out and shoots guys and doesn't take any guff, right? You've got Lady Luck, right? Another one of my favorite characters.
Right.
It's like she's kind of a socialite like Bruce Wayne. So it's like she just wears a green hat, green dress, a veil over her face, and she goes out and she beats up criminals and stops people with guns. So it's like they had characters at that time from the 30s and the 40s that did the same thing, but yeah, she's more at the forefront of what's going on. And I think by making her costume red, white, and blue with
red, white, and
stars
blue.
and stuff,
Exactly.
now you're changing you're changing what's behind her. Not necessarily making it feminism, or empowering women, but you're a symbol of America, just like Superman's a symbol of America.
Perfect.
So that kind of crosses over a little bit.
Thank you.
Now it is, but that's a recent thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta go with no. I just think it's a really good plot device.
Yeah.
Or like a good James Bond movie.
Yeah, it's a way to make it serious. Her first appearance, she's like James Bond. She's dressed up in a mink. She's got like a mink stole and a dress on and a pearl necklace, and she's like this,
I think there's elements of it that definitely.
They don't get into any of
Cold
her,
War kind of stuff.
They
you know?
never, ever allude to her being indoctrinated since she was a little kid. They didn't get into that until more recently.
Well, exactly. The last one.
That's a new thing. But not to say that they wouldn't have done that at the time when they created her had they known that, right? I'm sure the creators who came up with her, if they were reading stuff about common indoctrination of children, which now we know was true, right? They didn't really know that at the time. They could guess. They could guess and make it propaganda. This is what they do to their kids, horrible things. But they don't know that for a fact. Now we know it for a fact, and now guys try to write that in there. I think that's more of a modern. I think that's a modern interpretation of her.
Yeah, I really don't think it was. I think that was like at the time like a good plot device.
Yeah.
I think it might have been something that was like in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, this Cold War era
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I
We all know those
I think
communists
that's
are horrible things all the time.
exactly. I think that's a little bit of a bridge too far for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Just say that it was done on purpose. Like, we're saying it's kind of added later. It's kind of made into a just makes
And
it,
nobody
it
read
makes an
comic books
interesting
back then
story.
anyway, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a much better venue to tell people about that.
Readers.
I think you always want comic books by their very nature are a kind of escapism. So if you can idealize someone's feelings, their aspirations to do better, to be a better person, to stand up for people getting bullied and things like that, I think these guys are an easy way to channel that, right? Channel those thoughts. You know, if you get it. You can get behind them. You're always going to have the idea of, how do you identify with a character like Superman, right? If he can do anything, it's like that's really easy. You could argue Captain America doesn't really have superpowers per se, right? He's super strong and stuff, but I think they did a really good job in the movies of portraying him. At his center, he's still that little kid in Brooklyn getting picked on and getting beaten up, and he doesn't like it, right? And he tries to fight against that. So I think that's really important to hold on to.
Well, revolutionize. They're really. I mean, the comic code affected, I think, a lot of different comic companies very differently.
Yeah.
I mean, they damn near killed EC Comics. If it wasn't for Mad Magazine, EC Comics is Tales of the Crypt and all that horror-related stuff. And I think
Books
EC
like that
Comics
were hit the hardest.
Well, I think, I think because of books like that was the reason we got the comics
Yeah,
code,
the reason
right?
it showed up in the first place.
And the comics code was actually kind of like a self-imposed. It was all the comic companies kind of taking people from, in a weird way, right? It was like they all said, well, you get guys from the Archie comics and DC and Atlas and all this, so representatives from all of the comic companies kind of self-imposed a set of standards.
Like, our entire industry is going to die if this witch hunt continues and spreads into other things. We all have to join forces, much like companies join forces to price fix, right, on something. They're like, whoa, don't go underselling that gold. You're crazy, man. Sell it. If we all agree we can sell it at this price, everything will be cool. And I think, like you're saying, it's a self-imposed strict
to get past basically the McCarthyism, which was like these comic books are they're turning their children into monsters and stuff, and that all crime is caused by comic books is what they were saying.
The best was the kid they tie to the tree and they throw lighted matches at him. That was the best. That was like a 50s thing we watched. It was like a film that they did, a black and white film that they did, where the psychologist sat down and showed what happened when these kids read these comic books. And a bunch of kids take another kid, they tie him to a tree, and they start putting out matches on him and stuff. It's the craziest.
It was about as accurate as Reefer Madness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was one guy's
propaganda, right?
Propaganda, exactly. But in a weird way, on the other side of that, it might have actually saved comic because now you had to standardize like what mom taking her kid out to buy a comic book now is like, well, it's got the code on it, so it must be good. And it did change the kind of books we get. We had a lot more romance, we had a lot more Western, you had a lot more different genres that weren't like needle in the eye horror. I think that was the kind of the thing, right? I think comics that kind of got to that point where it was like crime, horror, and moms and dads were like, whoa, this is too much, and it kind of reached that breaking point. So you put a code on it, right, which is made by comic book guys. To what degree it was, I mean, if you look at the bylaws and that, there was some stupid stuff, but I think in a weird way
how they have to portray what's happening.